Good morning everyone, welcome to my coaching tip today. This is Monday the 27th of April. We did the draws for the raffles yesterday. Well done to the winners. Thank you to everyone who supported it. It was a phenomenal success, both raffles were. Other than the top prizes, we were able to add lots of others because of the income that we received from it. So we're very, very grateful and thank you once again for that. This week we will send out a newsletter probably Wednesday-ish, and within that there will be new raffles, new offers, other bits and pieces. We keep racking our brains to keep things ticking along while we're laid off. So look out for that, please. Fact of the day, last week we talked about Henry Cotton with his strike bag, and he won 3 British Opens. Just a question for you, try and just think of this and see how close you can get. Don't use the internet. When he won in 1934 his first British Open, what do you think he won as first prize? Rolling forward to the 1977 British Open at Turnberry, which I think was the best British Open I've ever seen, between Watson and Nicklaus. Pretty much the last 2 rounds they were head to head. What did Watson win financially for winning that event? And then last year, Shane Lowry at Royal Portrush, what do you think he earned last year as well? So I'll answer those questions a little bit later on. So we've talked in the last couple of videos about the transition on the way down, that from the top of the backswing the hips move forward, pulling the hands and arms down, and the hips rotate to deliver the club into the back of the ball. And I showed you the strike bag, the impact bag that you can use at home or in the garden. We're going to talk today a little bit about what I call swishing exercise. The most important part of the power of the golf swing is club head speed. Of course the body adds its own bit to that, and the rotation and other factors as well, but it is the release of the club at the right point that creates club head speed. One of the most common errors we see are people from the top of the backswing casting the club, so the club is released early, so the energy is expended before it gets to the ball, and the fastest point of the swing is then before impact. So by the time the club head gets to the ball, it's dissipating, then the hands and arms tend to block it off, and we get this sort of action through the ball, which is a byproduct of what happened before that. So what we want from the top of the backswing is we want the hips obviously to go forward, as I've just said, and we want this angle that we've set up at the top of the backswing, which is about 90 degrees, let's call it. We want that angle to remain lagged, is the word we use, back behind the body, so that it releases then at the right point. Now I've warned you about being too fragmented before, so be careful you don't make this into lots of hundreds of bits. You can still work at this sequence in front of a mirror, but if I hold the other end of the club and stop at the top of the backswing and then release this at the right point, I can hear the fastest point of that is either at the imaginary ball or past it. If I get to the top and I release it early, then the fastest point is back here, and the sequence, you can see the body is now held back. It's not getting into a position where it can lag that release. So again, you can do this at home, as I said, in the garden or in a garage as we are here today. So again, I'm going to listen out for the fastest point of this, and I can hear that is past the imaginary ball, and I can do that also with the right hand as well. You can hear the speed of that. So again, we're loading up the movement on the way through. This is lagged behind and it releases at the right point. So try and work at that, please. That will help your club head speed. Back to the fact earlier that I asked a question. In 1934, Henry Cotton won £100 for winning the British Open. In 1977, which surprised me even more, Tom Watson won £10,000, which doesn't seem a lot of money in these days, but maybe it was then. And last year, Shane Lowry won about $1.9 million. I don't know what the exchange rate was then, and there was a total prize fund of over 10 million. So that's how it's changed over the decades. That's inflation for you. So an interesting fact. Hopefully the tips will help you today. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Keep well. Bye-bye.